Hey folks, Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with AstrologyMojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. And yes, I took that picture. Somewhere. We're all made of rainbows, by the way. That's our basic makeup. We are energy and vibration. When I talk about astrology, if you're new to me, I don't say that, oh, beware, look out. Mars is about to go retrograde. No, because any planet in our solar system, in any system, is not conscious of their movements and therefore not controlling you. So the planets aren't making you do anything. Just like you're a celestial, eternal, vibrational being. So when you feel something, you feel it. Now, are you influenced by that feeling? That's your choice. So if it's raining outside, do you choose to go out? If you slip and fall, do you say, yeah, never again? That's your choice. So the planets, whether they're in retrograde, direct motion, squaring, trining, opposing each other in your chart, it just reflects your choice. So let's all be empowered, okay? Yay! Now here come the eclipses. So when I talk about the eclipses, of course, the sun and the moon have a very direct relationship to the earth and all living things on it. And that is without the sun, which is a star, we would freeze. Nothing grows. Everything dies. And we're having a lot of solar flares. I've been talking about that, right? And so that is also representational of how are you evolving? What are you evolving into, from what to what? And the moon, is our little satellite, goes around the earth. And the moon represents our tidal, Tidal, and emotional selves, intuitive selves, feminine selves. So the moon guides Cancer and the sun guides Leo. And when we look at astrology right now, we're looking at the two eclipses we're having, and that is Scorpio Solar Eclipse on October 25th at, 2 degrees, 0 minutes. So if you know where that is in your chart, look it up. Hey, Ashley's there. November 8th sports the lunar eclipse in Taurus at 16 degrees, 1 minute. Now, if you remember back in April, May of this year, 2022, we were having the exact opposite experience. We had a solar eclipse in Taurus and a lunar eclipse in Scorpio. So what did you learn on your eclipse vacation? What came up for you regarding power and values? That's what we're looking at right now. And, hey, Barbie's here. Scorpio represents power and is guided by originally Mars before Pluto was discovered in 1930-ish. And so the power is not about the force of that power. The downside in an ego sense, and the ego is not right or wrong, good or bad. The ego just represents your personal secretary. Do you need to eat, sleep, protect yourself? Do you need to, answer that email? Like the ego does that. Yay. So let's everybody stop, talking about the ego like it's some evil thing. It's not. But when you let the ego run amok, you forget that you have power. And then you get frustrated. You get angry. You want to act out. You want to manipulate or control something. So that's the negative side. Hey, Lucy. Hi. That's the negative side of power. What do you want to do with your power? What do you know that you have it? We talk in spiritual circles and metaphysical world lingo. We talk about being empowered and taking back your power, stepping into your power. You are power, my friends. You are. Did you not know that? And so what do you want to do with that power? What depends on what you value. Oh, here comes the lunar eclipse in Taurus. So where Pluto guides Scorpio nowadays, it used to be Mars. You look at that sexual power that you can have, not over someone, but for yourself. There is transformation that you can have during the act of consensual, beautiful, loving, powerful sex. Don't misunderstand me, anyone. Or it's taking that energy, Kundalini energy, and pulling it up through all the chakras and another kind of power. Let's just remember that we are vibrational beings. All right. That's where it begins. It starts with a vibration. It starts with vibration. It's not, well, they didn't call me back. Okay. Okay. Obviously, it upsets you. Why? You are powerless in that moment. The moment you look outside of yourself and you want to blame, assess, judgment, you are not in your power. And that kind of energy is where the ego takes over and says, well, I'll get back at them. Or they won't hear from me for the next year. Or, I'll buy that thing that I know they wanted and there's only one left. That actually happened to me. I was somewhere and with a bunch of people and I was like, oh, I'm looking for this kind of plant at this store. And someone in the group said, yeah, I found it. It's the last one. And I was like, okay, you know what? My gut says no, but I'm glad you found one. And I went and I looked underneath the table beyond bags of stuff. And there was one little plant and it was mine. So because I have a belief in everybody, there's enough of everything to go around. That's my form of power. So where that other person was like, yeah, I got the last one. It's mine. Well, I'm glad. I'm so happy for you. Now I got one. Yay. You see? So I don't make it about them anymore. I used to. Boy, woe is me was my middle name. Hey, Shelby. Can I call you Latanja? Or shall I call you Malik's Mystical Magic? And you are mystical. All right. So I've been playing with these little whispering wood cards because they're so adorable. So let's get back to it. Power. Where's your power? It's you. You are a celestial. You're a celestial, sentient, divine being. Ta-da. That's power. What do you choose to do with it? Again, as I said, it's based on what you value. And that's the Taurus energy. So we're in it now, folks. We are in it. We're in it to win it. Get your spiritual lotto numbers lined up now. 1 1 3 3 4 4 5 5 6 6 7 7 8 8. No nines. So October 25th is the actual date. But if you are any version of Scorpio, Taurus, Sun, Rising, Moon, just be extra kind to yourself this month and next because earthquake, emotional internal earthquake, right? It is the part of you that, and this is for everyone. You have Taurus in your chart here. I set it all up. I was asked to speak and do a salon, do energy work, and do this kind of work at an event in Sedona tomorrow, Friday and Saturday. So I was like, yay, vacation. All we have to do is just pack up a little bag and go to the other side of town to a hotel. And then I can do my food shopping. I love that kind of business. So that's why we're here today. And thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Okay. So what was I going to do? Oh, yeah. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. So now, Selena, here we go. Oh, Ashley says, I'm Taurus, Sun, and Scorpio rising. It's been rough since the planets went into retrograde. Okay, stop right there. I must address this. How much chatter do you hear in the world about retrograde planets by the mainstream? Oh my gosh, it's retrograde. That's why, this thing happened. I spoke with a practitioner this morning who said, I got rear-ended 3 days ago. And I was like, okay, tell me about that. I got rear-ended 3 days ago. I know where my mind goes. It's like, well, what are you withholding? What kind of frustration do you have? Scorpio. And this person's not a Scorpio, okay? Or a rising or moon. So they went on to tell me the story. And they said, admittedly, I was pissed. It was a 16-year-old who admittedly said, oh, I was texting. I didn't mean to hit you, and then was sobbing. And I said, well, I'm glad both of you are okay. It's minor damage, but, you're protected. And then I said to this practitioner, I said, so, oh, by the way, Scorpio Taurus, a solar and lunar eclipse is in play right now. And so we're kind of feeling the tidal pull, the emotional pull, right? But the planets, retrograde or not, are not doing anything to you. But again, because you're a sentient being, excuse me, I say as I roll my eyes, not now, I have to talk. I say it in my throat. Okay, because you are a sentient being, you have power. So tell me again why the retrograde planets. I'm so sorry. I'll have more water. Oh. A lot of readings, a lot of talking. Okay. It's a perspective. Retrogrades are a perspective. They represent the part of you that goes within, retrograde Latin, step back, that looks in and back to say, am I a victim? That's the downside of the Scorpio Pluto guided solar eclipse. Am I a victim? Well, that thing happened to me, so I guess I am. And then we get patterned psychologically to believe that since that happened, I can't get out of it. Or no matter what I do, nothing changes. Or I could do 5% of something, but then there's the 95 that just squashes me. And that's a brain entrainment thing. That's neuro training. That's where you have to go beyond that place, go beyond that distance so that you can transform. That's what it's all about. Clarity, power, transformation. And by the way, if you want to book a private session with me for these eclipses, I've got limited spots, 7 are left. And the link should be somewhere in the blurb. Let me see. Is it? Oh, goodness gracious. Did it not show? Hang on a minute. All right, I'll have to put it here. I was trying to set everything up this morning. There it is. You can check that out. And it's at a reduced rate, almost 50%. So when you have a belief, know this is your power. Okay. This is where your PowerPoint comes in. I'm going to make a PowerPoint right now without Microsoft Word. I'm making a PowerPoint. And here it is. If you believe something is true, then you will create the neurons, the chemistry to validate that. Now, you could say a million times a day, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, because I believe it. Well, then it depends on how much conflicting interests you have going on the inside. Like, oh, yeah, I believe I'm a millionaire, but, right now I'm not. Ha, ha, ha. So every time you say something and contradict it by it hasn't shown up yet, so obviously it's not true. We look at what's real, right? Because we're people and we'd like to be practical. We look at what's real and then we go, yeah, it didn't happen. So obviously it's not true. But just as it's forming, just as it's taking root, just as it's growing. I saw on Instagram, I wish I had copied it down. There is a tree, no, it's a bamboo plant that you must water it daily. You must water it daily, but it does not grow roots into the ground for 5 years. And then when it does, it grows 90 feet in like a month, in like such a short amount of time, because it's been watered, it's been nurtured, it's been watered, it's been nurtured. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not there. So when we're talking about retrogrades or any planetary thing, like say this is your chart and you go, oh, I have, what do we got there? The nodes are always opposite. I have Saturn squaring Uranus. I'm screwed for my entire life because, one of them's retrograde and I'm always fighting with myself. And okay, it's not the planets that are doing it. This is just like a lab report. It's a little description. And not to malign anyone's belief system, but if you believe that something outside of you has dominion over you, you are powerless. But that belief might be false. Now, I heard the tarot reader Amun Ra on YouTube say, talked about BS, not the typical, but belief system. So if your belief system isn't working for you, this is the powerful time of transformation. This is what I'm talking about. Okay. Does that make sense? Let me just check in real quick. La, la, la. You are doing the best you can. And we're all going to send everybody that's here today, whether you are talking to us or not, whether you're watching or not, whether this is in live present time or in a replay, everyone is sending. Here, wait, let me just scoop out of that. Everyone is sending you love. You are love. Love that you are love. That can be your mantra for the month. I love that I am love. I love that I am love. That's your power. Make it a chant, sing, dance, make that your new lyrics to whatever beat you want, from reggae to rock. It's like, I am love. Yeah. I love that I am love. Go for it. Because the more you start to retrain your brain, the more you start to realize that your vibration is outputting a frequency, and that frequency is going to collect other frequencies of like matter and bring it to you. Ta-da! Power. Now, let's talk about the lunar eclipse for a moment. Taurus, at 16 degrees. So you look in your chart and see where 16 degrees is. Everyone who has a chart, let me just bring this up again. Everyone who has a chart and everyone who's a human, or animal, or anything, has a chart, and I use equal house, by the way, and that might make a difference in degree. If you're on the cusp of something, it could put a planet in a different house. So I feel that equal house is more accurate than any of the other systems, whether they be Coke or, and I'm not talking about Vedic at all. It's a completely different system. But Regiomontis or Placidus, I feel are not as accurate as equal house. That's been my experience. But looking at equal house right now, okay, where all the houses are equal by degree, wherever 16 degrees and 1 minute is of Taurus, that's where you're going to feel the topics of that house. Now let's just say you don't have any Taurus planets, sun, rising, or moon, regardless. Then just look for where Taurus is on the cusp. And in this chart, it's over in the 8th house. I can't reach that far, but it's opposite Scorpio, which is right here at the cusp of the 2nd house. Okay. So at the cusp of a house in your chart, you have Taurus. So if it's 1 degree, like where it says in this chart, it's in the 8th house. The 16 degree a lunar eclipse will take place in this chart. Let's say this was a person. This is just today's chart. It's a general reading. Then it would be in their 8th house, which represents money, values, security, joint resources, right? So each house has a different definition. And so what I want you to do is to get really calm and quiet right now and think about, where is your power? What do you value? Because the power behind the value creates the system, the monetary system, the sexual system, the business system, the health system, whatever the system is that you're guided toward, what you're thinking about, you're working on, or what you're ignoring. Yeah, it's okay. He's kind of mean when he's tired, but that's okay because, he makes more money than I do. And what are we going to do? It's just, so you settle. So it's like, wow, at this point, do you value that kind of BS belief system? Thank you, Amun-Ra Tarot. Do you value that kind of BS? No. I mean, and it takes a while. Sometimes you get to a point where you hear somebody talking, or someone said to me the other day, engaged in a conversation with my husband, Dean, and me. And she just stopped the conversation. She said, I just have to say this, but the way you two relate, it's magical. You're humorous, you're kind, you're romantic, you touch each other, not inappropriately. Okay. It's like there's warmth. You make eye contact. And I was like, wow, thank you for noticing. I said, and in the beginning, we were halfway there, and we've been together for, wait a minute, my husband knows. To me, it's forever and many lifetimes. But for him, it's like, okay, We have 30 years. Okay. So we took the time and still continue to take the time. We don't fall asleep in our relationship. So I value a healthy relationship. Now, regardless of romantic partner, I value a healthy relationship with friends, with family, and sometimes the other people have a different set of values, and the other people have a different way of expressing. So you might get put off. You think, well, I'm putting 1,000% into this relationship and it's not coming back my way the way I want it. Then if you don't value it, then stop putting 1,000% into the relationship. It's not about you. I mean, it's not about them. It's about you. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Let me scroll down. I see I'm being told new comments. Yes, thank you, Latanja. Taurus also represents the throat, so it is about communicating. It is about your throat chakra, and that color would be blue, some version of blue in your rainbow, and I am a Taurus. So as I've been talking a lot and clearing my throat a lot, I'm also taking herbs, mullein and lungwort and nettles, because here in Arizona, when winter begins, winter is coming, the allergies begin. So I'm ahead of it. I started in September taking these herbs every day because they clear out the bottom of the lungs. Now, I do a lot of deep breathing. If you're someone who doesn't do deep breathing, or you live in a place where, fortunately, I live here and there's not as much traffic, but I used to live in New Jersey and worked and went to school in New York. And I would come home and there would be like, oh my God, it was disgusting. So if you're in a big city, you want to do deep breathing, clear out your lungs. Always do your own research. I do not prescribe. I do not doctor. I represent the energetic portion of the program. Okay. And being practical with that. So as I clean out my lungs and prepare for the juniper bursts of berries and cottonwood that flies around, where people become overwhelmed, their lung system becomes overwhelmed, and respiratory system, and the sneezing begins, and the itchy eyes, and the whatever. It's like, I'm heading into this ahead of time. So I've been clearing out. And so that's the purge. Scorpio represents a purge. And that is, what are you purging right now? Are you purging? Okay, you can look at it like, I am purging that relationship, or I'm purging that job, or I'm going to purge my closets, or I'm going to purge, the pantry because I'm going to go on a diet. Whatever you're purging, look in the mirror, because that's where it begins. Your vibration. So if you're upset about something and you're frustrated and you've tried to communicate with someone or to get through to, let's say you call a doctor's office and it's like, yeah, I'll call you back, and they don't call you back, and you're like, oh, there's like so many retrogrades and they're not calling me back. Now I got to find something because I have to make an appointment. It's like, all right, take a breath. Where's your power? You've just given away your power in that state of frustration. Now, I'm not saying don't get frustrated. Don't feel your feelings. Feel them. Set a timer. We don't want to go beyond 3 minutes. Can you imagine going from 10 years of complaints to 3 minutes? I did it. If I did it, you can do it. You set a timer and then you put on some music and go, they're calling me back. And then you let it go and do something else. And eventually they will call you back. But if they don't, now you know you don't value this person, or you're being divinely guided or protected. All right. Does that make sense? So Sasha says, since those negative thoughts sometimes come up when trying to come up with a new belief, how do you suggest we stop the negative thoughts from constantly coming in? I love that question. Thank you for that question. So we're going to take a little interlude. Number one. So if you have tinnitus, or your volume's up, or you have headphones in listening to me, be forewarned. Tuning forks. It can get loud. Okay, here we go. Take a nice deep breath right now. Nice deep breath, everybody. We're going to move that energy first. We're going to move the energy that's just in your atmosphere. All right, remove that energy first. Tuning forks, chimes, put on some music if you don't have these guys and gals. Those are called angel tuning forks. So we start with that, and then maybe 10 seconds of silence. In those 10 seconds of silence, what was the predominant thought? And where did it take you? To the past? To the present? To the future? Or did you bounce back and forth? If you were in the past, then you know you have some work to do. And if it was a specific thing, then you know that you can't change the past. You can only change your reaction to the past. And that is by refocusing on here and now. If you were thinking about the future, I don't know if I can listen to Elaine all this entire time because I got to be somewhere at 3:00 and then I want you to just take a deep breath and come back to the present. I exist here, now, everywhere. I exist here, now, everywhere. That's a beginning. Now, if you're bouncing around, that is so normal. That's 10 seconds. So if you give yourself 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 6 minutes in a meditation where you shut off all the technology, and let me tell you that I don't have it, but my cell phone, your cell phone, has a vibration that interferes with the cells in your body. And the disruption between the cells creates the addiction to every 7 seconds, checking, scrolling, checking, scrolling, checking, scrolling. Who remembers dial-up telephones? Anybody? There's a lot less peace in your body with technology. You have to respect those boundaries and unplug. Literally, tell your friends and family, we're so proud of our kid. Mom, Dad, got to unplug for the next 2 days. I'm okay. Everything's good. I'm just feeling overly anxious. Okay, great. Deep breathing, eat well. We'll check in a few days. So that's how you begin, Sasha. And then the sabotaging beliefs will come and go, and you can escort them in your meditation to the door. And as you escort them to the door, you create a new belief that says, I am, fill in the blank, and keep it general. Not I'm currently making $1 million. We want to keep it general because I'm scratching my foot right now with my other foot. So we want to keep it general because we want to be relaxed. Remember, you're not trying to control or harness your future or your mind and go, stop it. You're making me crazy. It's just because what you put your focus on grows. So every once in a while, turn off the telly, the phone, get out of the scrolling. It is addictive. Chemically, it is. Studies were done at Harvard, okay? And go outside and take a walk. Ground your feet. Take your shoes off. And wherever you are, if you're near earth, not concrete, but earth, put your feet on the earth, literally. If you're at a beach, feet on the sand, feet in the water. And if you live in an apartment building, come downstairs, find a small patch of grass, take off your shoes, put your feet there 10 minutes. It's called earthing. And the electromagnetic fields of the earth, especially in the eclipses, you're going to feel this, is going to come up through your body. And just like we did with the tuning forks, it's going to help to retune you. So as you help yourself to recalibrate, those other thoughts diminish. Here's a fact about your brain. You cannot think of positive and negative thoughts simultaneously. So which one are you going to choose? The one that has the most emotional charge. That's where you're going. Like, oh, the leaves, they're swaying in the breeze versus smash, crash. What happened? Oh my God. You're going to run to the noise. You run to the noise in your head because it's familiar and it creates an emotional response. And that emotional response is an electrical charge that tells you, I'm alive. I just felt like Elsa Lancaster in The Bride of Frankenstein. I'm alive. She's alive. I'm just going to pull these. I hope that helps you. That's how you begin. Yes. And the more you catch yourself, wait a minute, I just saw this. Sasha, Ashley says to catch yourself in the moment. When I have a negative thought, I try to change it into something else more positive. Absolutely perfect. See how smart you are? Oh my God, you're so powerful. You are. So that's what I do. And I think I gave this example once when our little dog Coda was here. She left us in April. But I would walk her in the morning and my husband would walk her at night. And in the morning when I would walk her, I remember this one day, I was just there's nobody around. And it was at our kids' school, which is not being used as a school anymore. So there's nobody there except the library and an office admin for the Arizona School of Deaf and Blind. So they use the office, but all the other classrooms, it's like The Walking Dead. But there's no Walking Dead. So I walked Coda around all the squares of grass and through them and whatever. And my head got caught on and then I caught myself because I looked at my dog who looked at me and I was like, look, Coda, look at how pretty those flowers are that are blooming over there. Someone takes care of the property at the school. He did a really good job cleaning up. And then she said that, and this happened. And wait, there's a breeze and it feels so good on my face. So as you create that little mental bridge to go from left to right, up to down, whichever direction, happy, sad, neutral, intense, whatever. Remember, there are waves in science, in the universe. Everything is made up of waves. And you, like rainbows, this is you right there. You can be earthy, like Taurus. You can be changeable, like Scorpio, the water sign, but very powerful. The wave is everything. The moment you think something and don't let go of that thought, that's a particle. So to get out of that particle, you need to create another one that's not there's no resistance. You're not fighting it. It's not like, shut up. It's, oh, I just thought that. Silly me. Oh my gosh. Hey, and then distract yourself as you create that bridge towards something that's a little less intense and that's more supportive. And those sabotaging thoughts will start to diminish in volume as you turn down. And then you turn up the volume on. Oh my gosh. I love that I am love. I love that I am love. Yeah, my head hurts or I'm hungry or I didn't get that job or, I was supposed to get it and they didn't even send me a birthday card. I love that I am love. I love that I am love because you are attracting. You're the magnet for everything in your life. So you look at your world. Do you have a comfortable bed to sleep in? Bravo, brava. You did it. Do you have food in your belly? Clean water to drink? Fresh air to breathe? Well, that's questionable for some people, right? But at least you have air to breathe. Bravo, brava. You're powerful. Did you pay your bills last month? Great. If you're struggling financially, then you want to look at, okay, because the axis of Scorpio and Taurus, wherever it is in your chart, is all about the power and value. So if you value your worth, you will raise your prices. If you value that organic apple, even though it's 50 cents more than the one that's not organic, it's not about the apple either, is it? No, I value my health and my well-being. I don't want pesticides in my body. So if I value me, yeah, hands down, I'm getting that other apple, 50 cents or not. I could do without 50 cents of Doritos or something else and go for that. You have to know your value system. And what's coming up in this, oh wait, let me see, what are the notes? You remember, okay, Taurus is Venus ruled, and that has to do, it's not just love, beauty, art, aesthetics, getting your nails done. It can be. It's not just romance. Venus is all about protection. You might think of joining the military. You might think of joining law enforcement. You might just binge on a TV show that's all about, crime fighting. Depending on who you are and what, juices you right now. So what do you value? protection, and finances. Venus. That's Venus. And then you put Venus together with Pluto, and you're like, oh, that's attractive. That person, that job, that way of being, that belief system, BS. I let go of the old and I welcome in the new. That is the next couple of months. And if you are a Taurus sun, rising, or moon, remember that we also have, oh, let me get it. And I'm playing with these Whispering Wood cards. I'm going to pull a card for us, or two, or three. Oh, yes, Amun Ra. Shiku. All right. Oh, thank you. Is there any affirmations or words I can say to stop that thought from taking over? Yes, I love that I am love. Now, if you are familiar with Deva Premal, she sings it. Aham Premal, Aham Premal, I am love. Aham Premal. I love that I am love. Because you are an extension of the light, all shades. And you're concrete, you're grounded in this earth, in this body. Do you value that? Then take care of that in as many moments as possible. You know, it's not about being perfect. You see someone eating, you know, meat. Let's say you're a vegan or a vegetarian. You're like, okay, yeah, you know what? That's what's happening to your heart right now. That's not the right kind of power. Judgment has no place in this world. You're creating your own reality. If you bump up against somebody else's reality, how about a different spin on how to react? How about responding? Oh, wow, that's very cool that you think like that. I mean, it's not for me, but hey, you look really happy. Or if someone's really angry, it's like, just keep floating the other way because you don't want to be around that. And if you are attracting frustration or anger, one of two things: you are that, or you need to set a boundary to that. Ever, you are that, or you need to set a boundary to that. So things aren't just happening to you, you are attracting, you are the magnet. So, you know, some people get so extreme about it. It's like, if I just think that one thought, oh my gosh, then, you know, the bottom will drop out and I will lose. And I was like, oh, Scott, I have a bag of these for you. Okay. And what does that mean? It's like your mind might drift to, yeah, I don't like those people. I'm not going to vote for that person. I'm not. I mean, someone came to the door, two women, and they said, hi, can we ask we are on so-and-so's campaign, and we're asking, are you voting this season? And I said, I absolutely am voting. Thank you for asking. How's your day? Is it wonderful? Yes, actually, it's beautiful weather. Fantastic. Oh, can we ask you if you would be interested in voting for this person? And I said, well, that's kind of private information, but I do appreciate you asking. And that's how simple it is. Not, I wouldn't vote for that person if I were the last person. And then you slam the door, and then you go inside, and then you get stomach pains. Then you crack open a can of soda, and then you look out the window and you grumble and you go down a rabbit hole that it's hard to get out of. We've all been there. I was you yesterday. I am you today, or I will be you tomorrow. Makes you want to judge the last, right? We hope. Okay. Ooh, new comments. I gotta look. I'm so distracted right now. I am safe right now. You are safe. How about this? I love that. I love that I am love. I love how much the universe loves me. I love how fun my life is. I love how everything comes to me magically. I really love that. I feel that personally. I feel that one. And the more you feel it, like that thrill about, like you're about to kiss someone you love for the first time, or you're infatuated with, or that feeling of them going on a little bit of a ride, not a roller coaster where you're screaming and flailing and wishing it were over, but that little bit of a exhilarated, I get the chills. I love that. That makes me feel so happy. You know, when you get that with a statement, just keep saying that. I love that I am love. I love that the universe loves me. I love how much I appreciate this earth. I really appreciate the colors, so many different colors. I even appreciate the fact that people who have different colored eyes than I do see things differently. I find that fascinating. I love that about this world. I love that. I laugh when I wake up in the morning because there's funny things on Instagram to laugh at. I love that I am safe and surrounded and protected and supported by things seen and unseen. I love that I am an extension of the light. I exist here, now, everywhere. There it is. Do you get that? Okay, you feel that? Rikara, always telling me your timing. We're glad that you're here. You're here right now. I'm early this time. I'm late this time. 37 minutes. You're not early. You're not late. I am always on time for everything. How's that? How's that for an affirmation? I am always on time for everything. All right, now let me pull a card. All right, so I am offering, Dean and I are going on our first vacation at the end of November through early December. We're so excited. We're going to Cancun. And before that, I am going to a week-long event for a quantum brain entrainment. I might come back. I might come back blonde. I don't know. With Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza. I'll be there in Orlando for a week, and then we come back. I come back, and then we have Thanksgiving, and I'm grateful already every day. And then we go to Cancun, and I, to the best of my ability, and I hope that I'll be able to transmit from Cancun, and I'll stream from there. So I am enjoying every moment of my life, and I used to be depressed. I used to treat my body terribly, horribly, pitifully. I used to live in a trailer without heat, and I slept in my clothes because there were bugs everywhere. I am grateful for my entire journey because it's brought me to now. Could I have gotten here sooner? Yes, but I didn't, so I'm not going to think about it. Oh, if only I had. No. In another dimension, yeah. I think his name is Sean Carroll. He's a theoretical physicist, and he talks about, because he was asked, metaphysically, can I create do different dimensions exist? And he said, yeah, every time you make a different choice, you create a different timeline. So you can always wonder, if I hadn't done that, when you have friends or a lover or a husband or a wife or children, if I decided not to have children, would I have still met you? What a cool thing to think about. All right, here we go. Oh my gosh. We're not beating ourselves up over anything. We're not. The days of beating ourselves up are over. And no planet is making you do anything. There it is. I'm not for everyone. I have to tell you, even astrologers will look at me and go, oh, okay. You're going through a Saturn cycle. Well, yeah, it's represented my choices and my lifestyle and my body and all that's good stuff. I have to fix these cards because I was messing them up while I was talking. Looks like a Saturn cycle in astrology, but it doesn't mean that the Saturn planet is up there calculating what to do with me. All right, here we go. Let me pick a card for the collective. I love that I am love. Ooh, love to love me, baby. Right? What is happening here? I keep mixing these up. It doesn't matter. It matters not. All right, let's see what comes to us. And they're so little. They're little bitty cards. For the collective. Yes. What's the opposite of suffering? The moment you start thinking about suffering, guess what happens? Oh, that one wants out. That one. Yes, many cards came flippity flying out. The first one, learn, take a lesson from the owls. Deeply observe the night, and you'll become a little wiser in the day. And also, how do you feel? Excuse me. Excuse me. How do you feel in the dark? I've had clients who say, I just am terrified of the dark. It's like, okay, let's explore that. Owls are more powerful than just about any other bird. They have feathers that triangulate in the wind, so they could be absolutely silent. Excuse me, they could be absolutely silent, stealth, and then they're right there. So learn the lesson from the owls, deeply observe the night, and you'll become a little wiser in the day. Get to know the dark, and the dark would be the Scorpio part and the Pluto part, because that represents the shore of your unconscious self. And unconscious doesn't mean it's not present in your being. It just means there's part of you running a program that you're not aware of. So you're outputting a frequency, many frequencies, and you output a frequency of, pain, suffering, fear, whatever it is. It all stems from fear. And realize, oh, I am safe because I am a divine light, extension of the light. And I love that I am love, and I appreciate how the universe loves and supports me. My higher inner being will then direct me toward things that I can manifest with, lots of rainbow colors. And I might trip and I might fall, but it won't be as bad as what I think it is, thinking being the clue. Okay, second card. Look into the space between the trees for answers. Light. Where's your light? Light. So learn. You think if I ate cheese every day, it would be like this, but I don't. Learn to be lighter. Learn to be lighter. And to flow. Go with the flow as water does down a river. Do not hurry. Okay, this is very key because if you've ever listened to, Abraham Hicks, or the collective that is Abraham Hicks, you'll hear this a lot. Now, I started listening to Abraham on video cassette, like over 30 years ago, and also Bartholomew, but then Mary Margaret passed, is now off planet, and so that channel ended. But so I changed the channel. I went to the collective, and I was a trance channel. So when I used to channel, people would go, "Oh, who are you channeling?" It's like my higher inner being. That, see the rainbow? That's what I'm channeling, and it has information for you. So I would step aside in my mind. I saw my ego, and I'd look up and I'd see this rainbow come through me, and and so when you want what the collective Abraham would call, and that is a collective of beings. It's not one person who's a male called Abraham. It would be when you are turned downstream, you're not resisting anything. But I have to call them, because if I don't, then I won't get that last spot. And there's only 3 left. My needs are met. My needs are met. My needs are met. I'm supported. You create that bridge, right? So you flow, but towards something that has nothing to do with the topic you're excited about, you're frustrated about. So what you do is you just move toward what's the easiest thing right now. I can make myself a tuna sandwich. That's easy and delicious. And then I have some clothes to fold, and then I have to answer an email. I have to get with a client. I have to, whatever is the easiest, you flow with it. You go with the flow. And as you go with the flow, you grow with the flow, because then you're not resistant. Because if you're resistant to something, you put up a fight and a struggle, and you're trying to manipulate time, energy, space, people. your own mind and body. It's like, you could push through it, push through it. No, I'm not anymore. I had a thyroid issue and an adrenal issue pushing through it, and some other stuff that one day I will talk about. I don't push through anything now. I might push through something that tastes good, like a cookie, and go, oh my God, that's so good. Let's have another. So you want to flow. So we have learn and light. And then we have flow and friends. I hear my husband yawning. That's just funny to me. Friends, the most unlikely friendships can form like variegated lichen on hard rock. They create a tight bond. I like that. And that's also stop trying to force the issue with people. Really. Look at that. A little fawn sleeping, little squirrels, the roots, the leaves, the opening in the background. It's just such a lovely little deck, Whispering Woods. And it is by Jessica Lay, L-E, maybe Lee, not sure. Whispering Woods. So we want to flow with friends. What's friendly to you? Find that thing. You want to value. You want to value who you are. Because if you don't, no one else will. You just can't. They can't. Energetically, you can't. I can say to you a million times, oh my gosh, you're amazing. You're so amazing. I love the way you sing, talk, write, read, express, do your magic, work your brilliance. I love that. That color is awesome on you. This old thing? No, I bought it at a thrift shop and total resistance and rejection. So you can't care more than the other person does about their stuff. Make sense? You can't do that. That leads you to pain and suffering. And that leads you to frustration. And that leads you to a lack of boundaries. So I want you to think about these things. Again, one last time, we're just going to look at the chart and consider booking a session. I only have 7 left as of this morning, could be less. And for the solar and lunar eclipses, and that energy lasts throughout the rest of the year. And also I'll be looking at the north and south nodes, which are also Taurus and Scorpio right now. So we have a north node in Taurus and a south node in Scorpio. So what does that look like? Well, interesting. With this, the nodes are calculations. The way the moon. Oh, let me just go over here so you can see. So here's the moon, and it goes around the Earth, and then the Earth goes around the sun. Okay. So at the point that it crosses, where the moon crosses the Earth, and the Earth is circulating around the sun, that is a calculation. And Rahu and Ketu, north and south nodes. And so the north node represents the open door to your future. That's the easiest way to describe it. It represents, the south node is been there, done that, talents, or you need to stop that now. You're done. It's got to be done. So, or it could be a training course, or you just, you worked at a job and you're like, yeah, I think I'm done. It's good. It was fun. I made some money, made some friends. I learned something, or it just kept me occupied, helped me pay the bill. Okay, I'm done. So you're done with the south node and you're moving toward the north node. Now, the transiting nodes, right? Now, the Taurus north node is going to couple with coupling. We love that. The Scorpio solar eclipse. So it's like your power is now going to come into the light as you reach for that doorknob to go to your future. Now, the south node, what you got to let go of, is going to be right next to the the lunar eclipse in Taurus, which is, I'm afraid, I don't feel safe. I don't have enough money. It's not enough. I don't want to change. It's too scary. Like, we just stay like this for another 1,000 years. It's okay. It's fine. I'll do it. I'll take on the burden. I just don't want to, the South Node. If you don't value you, South Node in Scorpio, your power is stripped away. So what's going to be fascinating to note is that in the next couple of months, if someone suddenly comes to you and says, yeah, I don't want to be friends with you anymore. And you're like, what? I gave and gave and gave and gave, and you know what? And you didn't give back. Oh, I totally get it. Okay, I wish you well. Because it's not about them. It's about you. So things will get cleared out. Or suddenly you might, lose a job. And remember, we've been having the axis of Taurus and Scorpio since April of last year. So in that time frame, all the way through December, it's like, what happened to your friendships? What happened to your money? What happened to your job? What happened to your relationships? What happened to your health? There had to have been a stabilization in something that is healthy, and then a decline in something that's not. And if not, and if you're hanging on to, I remember the day I decided to quit smoking. And this was, 35 years ago, something like that. It was a long time ago. And I just kept lighting cigarette after cigarette going, okay, this will be the last one. This will be the last one. Because I knew that as soon as I stopped, I would need to be more aware and responsible of my body. And then one day I was with someone, a friend at the time, and it just hit me so clearly that I was going to go in circles forever. And then I would leave this earth, with asthma or not able to breathe or whatever, and I wouldn't have changed. So what was the point? So there's a big dumpster. I took him out of my purse and I tossed him. I was like, yeah, I'm done. And my friend said, just like that? And I was like, yeah, just like that. It did help, of course, that we were in a Taurus Scorpio cycle at the time. But if you're ready to let something go, watch what comes to you, because you don't want to grieve the thing that you want to let go of. It's like, oh, I was okay. Really? Oh, yeah. I'm kind of feeling free now. Because at first it's a little like, uh-oh, there's an earthquake and I don't know where to stand to get my footing. And then it's, if I really believe that I am safe, I'm supported, I am loved, that I appreciate, that I am my higher inner being is coming through and guiding me. If I really believe that I am starlight, that I am an extension of that light, that I am a celestial, eternal, divine being, then what is the problem? Attachment. That's it. That's all. So we just let it go and flow and flow and flow. Thank you for being here. I'm going to now flow into the kitchen and get something to eat. So I hope to see you soon if you book a sesh. And if not, I'll be back. Wait a second. I have to look at the calendar. I don't even know where we are. Today is the 12th. I'll be back on the 20th. And yeah, and we'll take it from there. Have a great week. Be present. Be kind. Flow. Learn. Grow. I appreciate you. See you soon.